Hi, my name is Ryan Strong, and I'm going to be explaining how I ported the alphabet game that I created for Cocos 2DX to the Unity app. So I'm going to be showing it on this screen briefly, and then I'll switch over to talk about how everything went. So go ahead and get it started. All right, as you can see, it's starting to load up, so we'll hit play. You have the letter A, you hit the A, the apple, B, you hit the next, and C, you hit the cat. And it says, congratulations, you win. Go to play again. Hit play. Say, I decided to do the cat. Oh, that's wrong. Nope, dog wasn't right. Oh man, you lost. So that's just a basic representation of my game. So let me go ahead and stop the app from running and get rid of the picture of myself. All right, so my original code was this bit in here where I had created in Cocos 2DX my game. The transition actually wasn't wasn't that hard for me, thankfully. Going from Cocos 2DX, which was a C++ programming style, to Unity, which I utilize C Sharp because that's what I'm most comfortable with. Really, all I had to do was going through this. I just took the assets that I had, so my resources here, specifically the audio file, the font, and the images here, and I placed them into Unity and was able to create my stuff that way. So we'll go to Unity because the coding was completely different for Unity. And here we have the main menu scene. In the main menu scene, I added this audio music, game music here, and I gave it a script because I wanted the music to play constantly while a player is playing the game. So in my audio script, it's very short. It's just the audio script. All right. It's basically just saying that don't destroy on load. So when a new scene loads, it's not going to destroy this game object. And if if there's not an instance of this audio script or this audio object here in the scene, then it's going to keep it in there and it's going to play it. Otherwise, if there is already an instance, it's going to destroy that new instance so that I don't have multiple audio files of the same thing. So for example, when I go to play the game, say I go through and I beat it or I lose, I click on that main menu, it's going to bring me back to this scene, which already has a game music object. And what it'll do is it'll create another game object for game music, which made it to where you had two different sounds, one that was constantly playing normal and then one that starts over again. So it's kind of messes with the player. So I fixed that by adding that script and taking care of it that way. In my canvas, I have a couple things. I have the image here, which is the actual background. I stretched it out so that it fits properly on multiple devices. I have my button here, which is just a typical play button. When you press it, it highlights to a different color so you can continue on. Flowers 1 and 2, they both rotate different directions. And I have two different scripts for that to make it easier on myself. So this one, the flower animation, I just rotate the transform rotate for the z-axis by 50 times time.delta time. Initially, I had this speed in here I was going to go off of, but I ended up not using it. I just went with time.delta time. And then the same thing for flower animation 1 with negative 50 instead. And that's what helps to make them rotate opposite. And then I have this cloud up here. I have a cloud animation where it's a simple script. It literally just transforms its position from where it's at, and it goes all the way across the screen until it gets off the screen. So that's it for my main menu. We'll go to the letter A. So in here, like I said before, I took all these assets. These are all the exact same ones from Coco's 2DX. I placed them in the proper spot and coded them accordingly. So there's very few things in here that you need to worry about. This game manager is the same one that was in the previous scene. It's in every scene, and what it does is it manages the overall flow of my game, everything that happens. So I give the player a max amount of lives of 3. They start off with 0. I call it lives just to make it easier on myself. So starting lives equals 0, current lives equals 0. And in my update here, I call, if cur lives equals max lives, then application build level 4, which is the lose game level. And I'll get to that in a few. I have this function here that just says wrong choice, so that when they click on one of the buttons that's incorrect, so if they're on the letter A and they click on the banana, the cat, or the dog, it's going to increment their current lives by 1 until they reach a maximum of 3, which is the max lives, at which point it goes ahead and takes them to that lose screen like I said before. In here I put letter A scene, letter B, letter C. And the reason I did that was because I went ahead and attached the actual, for the buttons, I attached this specific thing to specific buttons. So in the letter A scene, this, or in the main scene, this will take you to letter A. If you're in letter A and you need to go to letter B, this is actually attached to the apple, and so on and so forth. And I'll show you that more as we get into it. And then main menu here, load level 0. So those are all the scripts that I used for this. Like I mentioned before with the thing, so I have the image here for the background. I have the image for the letter A. That's all it is an image. And then I have the apple. On the apple, it's a button. So I attached the actual the actual apple to this, and I said game manager dot letter B scene, which loads the letter B if they click on the right thing. If they click on the cat, the dog, or the banana, instead it's the wrong choice, which, like I said before, increments their lives by 1. So, and then if they're again max life, then it loads the last scene. And I'll show you real quick how those scenes are set up. So scene 0 is main menu, 1 is letter A, 2 is letter B, 3 is letter C, 4 is lose scene, and 5 is win scene. So we'll move on to letter B. Letter B is the same. Letters A through C are all the exact same look. They just have the different letter here, and the tiles are all the same except for what the button does. So this one, if you click on the banana, it loads letter C. Otherwise, if you click on either of these 3, it does wrong choice. Gets a letter C. The cat loads win scene. And the dog, banana, and apple are all wrong choice. So for the lose scene, it has you lost and a main menu button, which takes you back to level 0, which is main menu, and a win scene, which is congrats, you win, main menu. So overall, this was a pretty easy process for me to complete. I was able to thankfully, since I know Unity pretty well, I was able to easily translate everything over and port it without a problem. I prefer Unity because it's it's set up to run on multiple devices or players. I mean, you can see them all here in this screenshot. You can go from consoles to PC to mobile without a problem. It builds it all for you, and it sets it all up, so it works out great. So that's why I chose this. Um, Porting time, I would say it, in all honesty, from once I got the idea in my head on exactly how I needed to go about it, took me maybe a couple hours to really get everything looking smooth and start going. So I was very fortunate with that. One thing that I did learn is that while it was easy doing this for this specific engine, if I had have tried to use the Cry engine or Unreal, I would have had no clue what I was doing because I've never used those before. So it's I can see how it's something that can take people quite a bit of time to complete if they don't know what they're doing and are new to the game engine. So overall, it was a fun process, and I look forward to what the rest of the class brings. All right. Thanks. Have a good day.